This speaker has been recorded at a meeting of Addictive Eaters Anonymous. For more information, visit our website www.aeainfo.org.
My name is Carla and I am an addictive eater, and it is a joy to be here with you all at this meeting on a Friday night. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that this is where I'm sitting out of all the possible places that I could be sitting on the planet, and we don't have everyone in the room today, but I know that there's a few people in other parts of the world as well. But it's just a joy. It's a joy because in these rooms is where I've learnt to live. This is how I've learnt this way of life, which are the 12 steps. It's the same 12 steps that Bill and Bob, pretty much the same 12 steps that have worked for alcoholics and Alcoholics Anonymous for years. And I'm so grateful. I was thinking about that bit in the big book that it's in the 12th step actually. As a result of these steps we have a spiritual awakening, but it's as a result of these steps, and it is the steps, the 12 steps that have saved my life and given me a life that I could not have even begun to imagine for myself. And it is not what I expected. And it is not big and grand and worthy of an Oscar or a Emmy or a Grammy or a knighthood, damehood, all of those things that I thought were the things. Instead, it's just the day-to-day life, being aware and outward looking and God looking, and just a different way of life than what it was when I came here, consumed with the food, consumed with my weight, just never been able to get enough of anything. Definitely not enough of the food. I could never have enough of the food. But it was just not enough of anything, not enough love, not enough attention. I loved attention. Not enough anything. And it was just that never being satisfied and that never being able to get enough, and nothing being enough. My whole outlook and attitude upon life has changed, and I often share that's not what I came here for. That is not what I came here for. I was driven here by the desire to lose weight and nothing else. That was all. Because that's all I knew, that's all I could see, and that's all I thought was the problem. Whereas now, that is one of the big changes in my life in terms of outlook on life. My outlook on life is far more than just the food, far more than just the weight. It's that freedom that I have today from the food is really hard to paint for people that look at the disciplined life that I lead, that you have given me this blueprint of how to lead this disciplined life. I have so much freedom today. I have so much freedom, and the freedom from the food is just, I am so grateful for that every day. I'm so grateful that I'm not constantly wanting more, that I can go between meals and not constantly be thinking about food. I hear people talk here about what a miracle it is and how odd it is that they're the addictive eater, the person that identifies themselves as the addictive eater, and yet they're the ones that have got at work the chocolates on their desk, or they're the ones that are able to just be around food and it not be the thing that's consuming their thoughts. At this time of the month in my workplace, snacks become the thing that helps everybody to get through this period of time of lots of work. And snacks become a big thing. And then someone will decide, this month we're going to have healthy snacks. They're all munching on carrots all day. It's just a joy. Like that every day for me is the same with the food. It's just the same. And that's a freedom that I just could not have even imagined. And then the freedom from the weight, carrying all of the excess weight that I couldn't move. I couldn't put a safety belt around me. I couldn't buy the clothes or wear the clothes that I wanted to wear. I couldn't do so many things. And just to dance through life these days is just a joy. I love it. I love being able to move. I love being able to, I don't know, climb stairs or just fit in life and not take up more space than what I was comfortable with taking. In terms of attitude, a whole new attitude to life, it's just not all about me anymore. And I am not the center of the universe, which is both distressing and an absolute relief. I get so much help here with learning how to do things differently, learning how to remember that within God or your higher power, that all is well and all will be well. Then to be able to follow direction. And I just had one example that I thought I would share, because for me, it's the little things that for me are really big things that I'm so grateful for. I know that I can be really useful if I pause and take time to consider what I need to do. This is work related or at home related. I know that if I've got space, and that can be through prayer, meditation, sitting in a meeting, just having a sleep even, just going to bed at night and sleeping, I can get that, and it talks about it, that we can rely on our intuitive thought and our inspiration. But for me to be able to do that, the first thing that happens is that I have to say, sometimes I have to say, I don't know. Or I have to say, let me get back to you on that. Or I don't know the answer to that right now, but I will come back to you on that. That's not me. To be able to say, I don't know, has taken years and years for me to be able to say that. So recently this happened. We were asked to do a task and I just couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't quite figure it out. And every time I tried to figure it out, because I want to say that I was a figure-outer. When I came here to this fellowship, the 12 steps, I was going to figure that out. So letting go of that figuring out is a beautiful way of life for me. So it's a big deal to stop trying to figure it out. So then, in talking with my boss, I said, I haven't done that task yet. I just haven't got around to it and I haven't done that task yet. And she said, why don't you give it to this other person? Horrified. I was horrified. Inside I was like, that is never the answer. That is never the attitude or the outlook that I have, to ask somebody else to do something for me, to not do it myself, to not figure it out myself. That is so foreign to me. But what I said was, yeah, okay. And I gave it to this person and I did not give any direction. I just said, this is what we have been asked to do with this information. And then I said, let's come back to it tomorrow morning. And then the next morning, this person showed me what they'd done. And all of a sudden, I could see the wood for the trees. I couldn't see it before. They'd done their work. I could not see it. But then, at the point that I could see the wood for the trees, I could give a little bit of direction, just the tiniest bit of direction. Then I said, what about if we do this as the next step? And then, again, I stepped away and I let that run. Then this morning, so this is all happening this week, and I have got nothing to do with it. Then this morning, I said to my boss, this person has done a really good job with this information. And I said, I took me out of the equation again. I said, I think they need to present it to you. And then my boss just said, no, let's present it straight to, look, it just went so well and I had nothing to do with it. And that task felt monumental to me. I just didn't know where to start or how to start. And that the answer is that I don't actually have to do anything is outrageous. That's outrageous. And that I can let that happen, that I can let that thing happen to me. I do this meditation regularly about having an effortless life. An effortless life where I manipulate, scheme, figure out, work out, drive. It says in the meditation that we can plan and that we can make those plans, but then we let go and then we do the next thing that's in front of us to do. I am so grateful for these 12 steps. I am so grateful that all of those steps point me in that direction of, wow, surrender, just surrender. And it says it in the third step prayer, my will and my life to the care of God. And I get so taken care of when I am willing to let go, just willing to ask for help, follow direction, and then just await developments. A lot of the time, just await developments. So I clearly did not plan what I was going to say today because I don't know what I've even said. But what I was hoping was that I could express some level of gratitude, just how grateful I am for this spiritual way of life. I keep it pretty simple, and I'm grateful that I keep it simple because, again, with my figure-outering brain, I'm quite glad that I haven't tried to figure out the spiritual side of this program because I think I would just make a muddle. I'm far better to get guidance, follow direction, listen to speakers. But that generally for me, when I listen to spiritual speakers outside of this fellowship, often all I'm hearing is what you've all said to me for the last 24 years of my life that I have been sitting in these meetings. Of myself, I am nothing. Let go and let God. Forget about yourself. Go and help someone else. Just those live and let live. The serenity prayer, the St. Francis prayer. It's better to understand than to be understood. Self-forgetting one finds. All of those things that I've just constantly heard throughout my life have just saved my life, which I think I've said. I might leave it there. Thank you for listening.